What do being crew? It's your boy Savon Thomas back with another episode of Coffee and Friends. We are now on season 5 of the Game of Thrones. We are getting towards the end. In my opinion, see the episodes peak at season 6 anyway. So season 7 and 8 will still cover, but it's season 6 kind of like the peak, if that makes sense. But we're joined again by the same usual crew. We have E-Man, we have Tierra, we are missing right now Brendan White. I think he's just running a little bit late. Typical Brendan White fashion. But how's everybody been? Last time we filmed was about a month ago. Anything fun happened in the last like month or so since our last podcast?
Terry, you want to go first?
I mean, same old, just work, just living. That's
No.
it. Not much, nothing too fun or crazy.
Just work and living. Man, you ain't even travel nowhere, do nothing. Like it don't take no. It's just like go live life a little bit. Just
Can't afford to breathe right now, so
I feel you. You're in your 20s, right, Sierra?
We did Waco.
yeah,
We did go to
Yeah.
Waco last weekend.
yeah, we did go to Waco. That was fine.
Like, what y'all? So obviously we're all there together. Um, what did y'all do? Anything fun? Like, where'd y'all go anywhere that y'all thought was pretty cool?
Oh well, I went to the Twisted Root Burger company. That place was pretty fun, and their burgers were like huge, like probably this big. And yeah, I couldn't put it down. It was very good.
Was that your first time at Twisted Root?
Yeah, I've never been
Okay,
before.
gotcha. I had an interesting experience at the same Twisted Root. There was a gas leak. At least they
Oh.
thought there was a gas leak. So there was an employee that just said, "I smell gas," and they had to evacuate the entire Twisted Root.
I
And
heard
it,
about.
it and it made me mad because here's the reason why. Not because of the gas leak. I understand that, but they had. I'm a big shake person. I love ice cream. I love shakes. I don't eat them often because I'm in the process of losing weight. So I'm not. I'm like, let me limit that. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to indulge today. I'm gonna get. All I got was just loaded fries and a shake. I'm like, this is gonna be great. I don't need a burger, just loaded fries and a shake. And so there's this Reese's shake, and I was like, man, it sounds delicious. It's gonna be so good. And the guy behind me, G2, he got his shake. I ordered my shake. I didn't get my shake yet. Guy behind me got his shake. And 2 minutes later, I'm waiting on my food. 2 minutes later, gas leak evacuate. So
Oh
then
no.
I'm like, man, I just spent money. I'm not gonna get my fries. I'm not gonna get my shake. More mad about the shake. Meanwhile, the guy that was behind me is just tearing down the shake. I was like, man, it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck. Like, that sucks
Oh
that I don't get my
no.
shake. That's the only like if I had my shake, I would have been fine with the wait or whatever. So we waited for like 5 minutes, but then everybody's like, I don't think we're gonna go back inside. So let's just evacuate and let's go somewhere else. I was like, man, that sucks. I really wanted the shake. Then the people come back out. They're like, hey, no, just give us a few minutes. There wasn't a gas leak. The employee just smelled something. Firefighters came, checked it out. Everything's fine. And so I'm like, okay, cool. So now I'm gonna get my fries and my shake. Then my ice machine broke, and so I still didn't get my shake. Still pissed about it to this day. So that's
Oh
my that's
no.
my Waco Twister story. But I did go to the Dr Pepper Museum, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was fun.
You
I went,
mentioned
I went to a Comic Con over that they had in Waco. That was pretty cool. There's
really
yeah, there's a guy cosplaying as a Saiyan, so I took a picture with him. Then another guy cosplaying as a Luke Skywalker. I
okay.
didn't know Ricky, the guy that was with me, was wearing a Star Wars shirt. So he walks up to us like, "May the Fourth be with you," and I'm confused, like I completely forgot it was a Star Wars reference for like the first 3 minutes of our conversation until I looked over at his shirt. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. But cool guy, took a picture with him too. Um, yeah, I mean, walked around, had some fun. It was his first. It was Ricky, the guy that was with me, his first time going to one of those a convention. And he had fun. I had fun. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, you posted, and then you didn't post, but you responded to my story and said you'd never seen Star Wars, and I'm just man, like I'm just sad for you, man. You need to watch Star Wars, like
I've never seen it either.
Yeah,
Tierra.
nice.
Why? You watch it, like
No.
watch it. That's something I'm in the process of doing right now. Is like going back and watching movies that people have always talked about, that I've heard about but never watched. Like I just watched The Devil Wears Prada for the first time. I just
What?
watched, yeah, for the first time. Never watched it before. I just watched Ready Player One, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, like all these movies that people have talked about, never watched. So I need to watch The Godfather. Never seen The Godfather.
Me neither.
Um,
What?
see, but you can't say that, Tierra, if you've never seen Star Wars
I
because
can say that because Star Wars was a choice. You have to see The Godfather.
you have to see Star Wars.
No.
Let's come to an agreement. Let's come to an agreement. You watch Star Wars, I'll watch Godfather because there's three Godfathers. There's three Star Wars. Technically, there's nine, but the main three.
There's so many.
Because the Star Wars is just really it's six, but the main three: A New Hope, Revenge of the Sith, and Phantom Menace. Whatever it is, Phantom Menace. I think it's the third one. No, that might be another one. I might be. If you're a Star Wars fan, I'm sorry. But the first three you have to like. That's the thing because the first other three like the one, two, and three just set up four, five, and six, which are the first three movies that came out, and then you have seven, eight, nine, which came out recently, but that just goes into like Han Solo's like son, Kylo Ren, and all this other stuff. Like
See,
it
that's
just
no, that's already too much.
no. Just watch the first three. That's it. It's three movies. It's three movies. You don't have to watch. But here's the thing, though. You're gonna watch those three, and you'll be like, I guess I want to watch the other ones, and you're gonna end up watching the other ones. I guarantee it.
I don't
I
know.
watched The Godfather if you watch New Hope. Deal?
We were gonna watch The Godfather anyways.
Deal?
Fine.
There
Oh.
we go. There we go. But speaking of Star Wars, so I have always said, "May the Fourth be with you," but I never knew the next day was Revenge of the Fifth because it's Revenge of the Sith.
Mm.
Yeah,
So
I
Cinco de
forget.
Mayo is Revenge of the Fifth, which is May 5th. So technically, it's May 4th and May 5th are both Star Wars Day, but May 4th is like the main one that people know about. So my coworker was like, I said May the 4th, and he was like, yeah, and also Revenge of the 5th. And I was like, that's crazy. But anyway, that's good. It's kind of update for me. For me, I mean, if anybody's watching any videos, I kind of share like my traveling stories. But went to Boston, Boston. My dad lives an hour north of there in Manchester, New Hampshire. So was in the Boston area, drove all around from Boston to Plymouth Rock. Took a video, me on Plymouth Rock, not on the rock, but like it's kind of like mocking Malcolm X, not mocking, but talking
Plymouth Rock
like,
didn't land on us.
exactly, it's on my TikTok. Exact same thing, and then me showing Plymouth Rock, and then drove to Connecticut. No, drove to Rhode Island. So I've never been to Rhode Island, nor would I ever want to go to Rhode Island. But I was like, you know what, I have to do this because I have to mark this state off. So I went to the capital, went to Providence, gambled in Providence, won money. Went to Connecticut, lost money. Half the money that I won, I lost in Connecticut, but still in Connecticut. I didn't go to the capital. I went to this city in Connecticut. Um, then went to Montreal, won Canadian money in the casinos. In total, I won $1,000. So it's pretty. The trip was paid for, which is pretty cool. But had some fun. Had some fun. Just driving around. In total, I drove 1,000 miles in 3 days, which is
Wow.
crazy. So
Impressive.
But all those states are small, so it's easy to drive right into them.
it is. It's like it's what's crazy is to drive from Boston to Connecticut is an hour. To drive
Mm.
from Boston to Rhode Island is an hour. So you have two different states within an hour of each other. New York from where I was in Connecticut is about 2 hours. So New
Mm.
York City, like New York itself is an hour, but New York City is 2 hours. So 3 hours to go from Boston to New York City. And then from my dad's house, which is an hour north of Boston, it was the same distance. Now you drive through through mountains, so it's a little bit longer, but the distance, 250 miles, is the same distance from driving from Dallas to Austin. So to
Mm.
go from my dad's house and Manchester, New Hampshire to go to Montreal, Canada. I just totally skipped over that, but it was the same distance of driving from Dallas to Austin, except you're going through mountains as well. So a lot of driving, but I'm used to it. The only difference is like the altitude, and like I don't know. I love mountains myself, so just seeing seeing the mountains to me, I'm just like that's the craziest thing in the world. 'Cause I didn't grow up around mountains, and so every time I drive through, like I have to I'm driving, but I'm like looking, I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy. And then like I'm like keep driving, stay on the road, and then you see signs just like bear crossing, and moose crossing. You're like, bro, if I run into either one of those, I'm screwed.
Mm-hmm.
So, and now we have Brendan White. Welcome, Brendan White.
Bro, thank you. My bad. Took a lot to get set up here.
Welcome, man.
But you
Glad
talking about
you're.
your cross country trip with your dad?
Yeah, dude, we're just sharing any updates since the last time we recorded, which is about a month ago.
Oh, nice. Well, I don't know who's next then, but go ahead.
You're the last one.
Oh, me. I'm next. I'm the last one. Okay, cool. Updates. Not a whole lot of updates since last time. Um, Still, working, grinding, being a father. That's about it. So not a whole lot to update. Oh, actually, there is a slight update. I got this side hustle going on. I can't talk too much about it right now, but because I'm still building it, but I'm using my skill that I learned at my job to make some extra money on the side. So just be on the lookout for it on Instagram and all that good stuff.
So, with that being said, Brendan White is now officially a drug dealer, and you guys can buy your marijuana and gummies through Brendan White. In Texas, is illegal, so you have to say side hustle. Every other state's legal, so there you go.
Yeah, I have to say side hustle.
Exactly.
Mm.
Well, cool. Well, I'm glad to hear everybody's had some fun, at least to an extent. Waco was most people, except for me when I was traveling cross country. Um, but awesome. So that brings us into why everybody's here is watching the video, which is our review of season 5 of Game of Thrones. And a lot's happened. Like it's so many like characters. Like I don't want to say meeting, but like all this stuff is like kind of you starting to see like the web that was like spread out starting to like tighten down a little bit. Like you starting to see like characters meet other characters. We get Tyrion meeting Danny. You get like anyways, there's a lot of things going on currently. But I will say, as far as like in King's Landing pisses me off. This season in season 6 with the entire like religious sect or whatever that goes on. Like I am so glad that what happens to him happens. We don't have to talk around it anymore because Brendan White's, as I mentioned, is seeing the rest of the seasons. And so like and so I guess we'll start there in King's Landing with the High Sparrow and Cersei, and like she uses him to attack Queen Marjorie, but then gets screwed over and has to atone for her sins as well. And it's just like where does this come from? Like it just came so quickly. Like there was nothing in the other seasons that even talked about religion to an extent. So I felt like this season, that aspect of it was just like, what? Why? Like, what purpose does it serve? You know what I mean? Like, do you guys get the same feeling? Like, what was your thoughts on like King's Landing, and the whole religious aspect that they introduced?
I feel you. I'm right there with you. I was like, what is this? Why? What this out of the blue? And then like, how is this, head sparrow guy, I forget whatever it is.
High Sparrow.
Like High Sparrow, yeah, High Sparrow running the freaking kingdom now. Like, I mean, Cersei, of course, brought that on herself, but I'm like you said, there was no talk of it, no foreshadowing of like a religious sect coming up and kind of taking over. So I was just kind of thrown. What'd you say?
I said none. Yeah, I agree. I'm agreeing with you. There was none. There was no foreshadowing, nothing, in my opinion.
I feel the same way, but at the same time, it's like B. White said, these guys are in control of the King's Landing, but it's like when you don't see how good like the guys running around with the maces, the swords, and all that, how good they are, and I'm like, you got a whole military in King's Landing. What are you doing?
Facts.
Exactly.
Tommen went to the septum and they stopped him from entering. I'm like, he's the king.
He's the king.
How do you have this much power? And Tommen, you have the whole Kingsguard, you have the military. Like, what are you doing? The other thing that upset me about King's Landing was Cersei was trying to play Tywin's role, and I'm like, you're not as good as Tywin. Like, but she was trying to play the game, and she's just not as good as she thinks she is as far as like her role.
Yeah.
Well, I have a counter to that because Cersei does play the game well. Like if like her entire goal from this was to not be cast aside, right? To not lose the power she's gained over time because we see the season start off with the witch that like predicts her future, right? And that's foreshadowing in her talking about Queen Marjorie that's going to cast her aside. And so I don't know how she remembers that all these years later, but let's just say she does for the sake of the show. She's realizing that she's losing power, and like what's holding her power? Her son. Her son, like her last kid, doesn't give a damn about her. He's all about Queen Marjorie now, his wife, and that's it. It was like, and then Marjorie is you like she could tell Marjorie's pushing her out, right? Like getting rid of her as much as she can, and so she does play it well because her goal is just not to get usurped by Marjorie. That's literally it. And she does that. Like you saw, I don't know if you guys remember this, but like when she goes to visit Marjorie in the Red Keep, in the dungeons under the Red Keep, she's like smirks a little bit, like she's playing nice, and Marjorie calls her out about it,
Yeah.
but she's smirking because the same like woman that tried to push her away from her son, she's like, oh, my son needs me, and so I agree with what you're saying. It does bite her in the ass, but she does. I still think she plays the game really, really, really well.
She does play it well, but not at the level that she thinks she's playing it at. Like you said, like it does come back to bite her in the butt. She's making enemies out of what's her name, Olenna?
Tyrell.
Yeah, the Tyrell. And again, that's a whole another situation for another time. But yeah, I just don't feel like she plays it at the same level that we're used to as like from Tywin, who she's I guess like kind of replacing as Tommen's
And
and
yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, E man. Like, but then I also agree with you, Savon. I think in terms of playing the Game of Thrones and trying to, make sure she has power, you know, in the kingdom, she does play that well. Like all that she's doing, like connecting with the High Scepter, like it was to
High
gain
Sparrow.
control.
High Sparrow.
High Sparrow, yeah. It was to gain control of, you know, Marjorie in a sense, you know what I mean? Because
Yep.
she could see that she was taking control because she had gotten close to the king, and I mean she's his wife now, and so by default and by just right, she's the queen. So Cersei ain't having it. So everything she's doing is in fact to secure her place, like Saban said. But at the same time, when it comes to like being that powerful kind of diplomat as well, like just speaking, serving as the hand of the king, even though she's not, she doesn't have that same authority as Tywin. But I don't think she's supposed to. You know what I mean? I don't think she's supposed to. Amen. But I get what you're saying.
that's true.
Tierra, any comments on the situation in King's Landing at all?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I think she was just running out of powerful friends, and that's why she went searching for the religious group. At least that's how it made sense to me. But I will say it was very satisfying when he was like, "Oh, what about your sins, girl?" And she was like, "What?" And then I don't condone the walk of shame, but she did deserve it.
Yeah, which is crazy because it was like her only sin that she had to get atonement for was cheating on her husband. That was it.
Mhm.
That
You
Yeah.
was
know what
it.
I mean? And like,
That was
but
it.
again, she's not. There's no one to prove anything else other than like Lancel saying that obviously cheated. It was not even like the incest thing. Like nobody's like that's the sin. The
Yeah.
sin is you cheated on your husband. You went out of wedlock and had sex with another person. And so, but yeah, no, like Cersei's situation. I love what you just said, Tiara, about like she's running out of like high powered friends. I
Mhm.
agree because like again, she sees herself like kind of depleting. She has no power. Like and Tommen is just like a young boy. Like he's so
He's super weak.
not equipped for this. Like I guess because they never thought he'd be in this position. I don't know, but like he is ill equipped to be king. Like
Mhm.
they just call a spade a spade. Like he has no idea what he should be doing. He's only making moves because Marjorie is like, you need to be doing this. My brother is locked up. He needs to take care of this. You know, like the boy's like 13 years old. Like, what do you expect from this dude?
Right.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I think Joffrey would have. I don't know. He probably would raise hell. Like
Oh yeah.
people, it would have been a war. General Tommen kind of threatened war in King's Landing, but I don't know. It's not too much going on. Like she sends Jamie off. There's the High
Mhm.
Sparrow in King's Landing. They're dealing with like them just persecuting everybody. There's not really much going on in King's Landing other than like that situation. Like the
Well,
religious.
even her uncle left. Who was supposed to be who was leading the Lannister army. Even he left when he requested that Tommen ask him directly to. He wants him to be one of his advisors. He just said no to Cersei and left.
Oh yeah, and I like that. I mean, because he was calling her bullshit. He was calling her bullshit real strong. You know, like, and I like it when he said, "I do not recognize your authority. You're just the queen mother. Like you have no authority as queen." So, like, yeah, I like the fact that he stood up to her and called her out because she was BSing a whole lot.
So I know BY is your first time through, but for you guys watching this for a second time, do y'all hate Cersei less? I find myself not hating Cersei as much as I did the first time I watched.
No, I don't hate her less.
Yeah.
I don't know, just for me, I don't know. It's nothing like she's very annoying, but like I can like now the second time I watch this through, I can see like why she's doing everything she's doing. Because again, like you said, she's playing the game and she does a great job, and she's gonna lie. Like they call it, they what did yeah, Margie called her the queen of lies. Like everybody knows you lie. Like it's just it's she's really good at it, and like you know it. So like now watching this through, I'm like, there's less. I'm like, man, I really hate Cersei. I don't really hate her. And fun fact too. So the Atonement Walk, that isn't the actress's real body. That's another. So I forgot what's the actress name that plays Cersei. You anybody remember?
Mm-mm.
I forgot.
Let me look her up. I'll look her up real
But
quick.
you're saying that's not her real body? They
No, so she has a clause in her contract to not be naked. So same thing for um, the actress that plays Danny. I need to look at these people's names so we can get their names right. But if you notice that Daenerys doesn't get naked anymore, she's naked, but you don't see like full body nudity after season 3, I think it is, and that's because she reworked her contract to no longer be naked, like no longer do nudity. And so the actress that plays Cersei, so Emilia Clarke plays Daenerys. I think it's from season 4 moving forward. She reworked her contract to where she doesn't have to be naked, full body nudity. And then Lena Headey, and her contract was no nudity, and so that like her being naked, that was not her body. It was her face CGI on another person's body.
Mm.
man, really? Dang, that was pretty good CGI. I didn't because I'm like
Yeah.
I'm sitting here thinking about okay the ways they would have to do that. Like if you just have somebody else doing it, no CGI, and then like this, I was trying to think of okay, did we ever see her face when she was walking, or did we just kind of see torso down? But no,
No,
okay,
you saw her face
you
sometimes,
saw her
like in the
face
very
and her
beginning.
whole
Yeah,
body.
but I mean, but even like when it like strip her down, like it used obviously her full body, but like her head's it's her, but they
Yeah,
just CGI'd it from they CGI her head on
I
top of her
got
body.
you.
Yeah.
That was pretty good CGI.
So,
It,
so yeah,
it's come a long way.
there's certain characters that like they some have nudity, some don't, just because like their contract. But then you'll see like if there is, especially after like really the first 3 seasons is heavy nudity in the show, and that's because they were trying to garner an audience, and especially back in like you don't see that much too much today. Like there's less and less nudity in shows, and that's on purpose. But like especially back in 2011 when it first started, like that was like new, especially HBO shows. Like you needed sex scenes, you needed nudity, you
Oh
needed
yeah,
boobs to garner an
oh yeah.
audience. And so like so that's as the seasons progress, you start seeing less and less of it. And so and some people just rework their contracts so where they don't have to. Like Daenerys was always naked in the first season, but like now she's like no more, which is she's a queen.
Well,
So
okay. Well, episode 1 of this season, like she and oh boy, her lover, who's the soldier.
they were in bed,
Did,
but they shoot like she didn't show her body.
I could have sworn I saw tits, but okay.
No, not from Daenerys.
Okay. I could have sworn. Maybe it was
Um,
just me then.
Gotcha. So yeah, so that's King's Landing again. King's Landing was like it was just weird to me. Like as far as the storyline, like at least if there was like hints of the whole religious piece being an aspect to it in the first 3 seasons or 4 seasons, excuse me, then that would have been interesting. But like it just came out of nowhere in my opinion. So that's why I was like the High Sparrow, like the High Septon. That you mentioned that person. That was the other guy, and he had been like he was in like the brothels and stuff like that. But like even him, he didn't really have power. Like, and so to
No.
see this random guy start having power because he is of the people, is just very interesting. So, but
Yeah.
I thought Lady Marjorie, she's very cunning. She's smart too, but you can't beat Cersei. That's what I've learned. You can't. There's no way to beat Cersei. Um, and then oh no, there's nothing really more for like King's Landing I want to talk about unless you guys have something specific or character you guys want to talk about with King's Landing. Okay, no big deal. Perfect. So we'll move on to another area. Let's move on since we're talking about Danny. Let's go and talk about everything going on over what's the area called? I always forget the area that they're in. I know it's Marine, the city that they're in, but what's that area called on the map? You guys remember?
Oh, I
Um,
thought it was Marine.
Marine's a
Easteros?
city.
Oh,
Is it Easteros? Because it's Westeros. Is it called Easteros?
I don't know. I want to say Bravos for some reason.
No, bro.
Bravos is a
no,
city.
Bravos is
Uh,
where Azaria is. I mean
yes, yes.
Azaria.
Arya.
Yeah,
Arya.
Arya's in Bravos.
Yeah.
No, I just there's a certain like term because she's Westeros is where everything's happening as far as like the North, the War of the
Mhm.
Five Kings is happening in Westeros. But I just forget the exact area because it's across the sea. Is
Yeah.
where Dany is. But anyway, so we just see Dany. I mean, she this is this season. I feel like you start to see her like, okay, we're gonna make some moves, but I'm just tired of her being over there. Honestly, like we again, Brandon White seen this the season now, so he knows obviously she leaves. But like, I just like this season 4 and 5. This is like I just call her in purgatory. Like, what are we doing, Marine? Like, we have this whole storyline of her trying to avenge her family, like lineage. Like, her brother wants to be king, and then now she's like, well, I'm the queen, and I'm gonna be queen. She's building up this army, and then she gets stuck in the city trying to politic the city. I guess she's trying to do something. It's like her coming of age to ruling, like getting used to being a queen. If that makes, I understand that aspect, but just like you got the army, you got the dragons. What the hell? You get up out of the city, like you leave that. And so like her thing is like, I freed these people. I can't just leave them. But I'm like, no, yes you can, because it won't matter when you go to Westeros because the Sons of the Harpy are gonna do their own thing. Like, and so I don't know. Like, what's y'all's thoughts on Danny season 5? Because it's just I just hate the fact that her story is just stuck in Marine right
Well, she's kind of stuck because she's trying to make sure that the people stay free, but so she can't get the wealthy people behind her. and then she kills that one guy that kills the leader of a wealthy family. She kills her, then she loses the common people, and now she's losing soldiers, and she loses what's his name,
Sir Barrison.
Sir Barrison,
Mm.
which was a big loss. So she's in a hard place with trying to do what she wants to do there, while also progressing towards the Iron Throne. So like you said, I mean, at this point, it's like cut your losses there, go take the Iron Throne. Because like you said, at the end of the day, she's not going to be able to rule both. So it's either Westeros or Marine. I don't know. Like you said, I forgot what it's called too. Yeah, I mean, she's having a hard time accomplishing her either goal. She's stuck right now. That's how I see it.
You think that's by design in terms of script, or you just saying like that's just kind of you like Saban is saying that's just his opinion. He feels like he's stuck. Or it sounds like you're saying that that's kind of by design through the script and through the plot of the story.
I'd say it'd be by design, by the plot. Well, because I've already seen what happens later on. So if she comes over to Westeros now, it'll cause another layer of chaos, which, I don't know how she would fit in Westeros if she were to leave right now.
But does that matter? Because it's just, who does she fit in with? Nobody.
Nobody.
Like Tyrion coming and being her hand is again. This man Tyrion is just he puts himself in the perfect position. But like Tyrion coming over is kind of like that branch between the two, and but still, I'm just it's and what you're saying, Brandon. Yes, this is show writing. They're doing this on purpose. This is the reason why she's over there. Is she needs to garner experience being a queen. This is her first time ruling. She's learning politics, things like this. That would help her become a queen somewhere else, right? And her biggest thing is she was a slave that was freed. Now she's freeing slaves, and she can't just let people go back into slavery, because if she does leave Marine, the way people are already built, they're gonna go back into slavery. People were already that one guy was begging for slavery in season 4, and then other people are looking to fight. So it's just people's mentality is slavery. And she's like, I'm not putting people in slavery. So her thing is she doesn't want everything to go back to where it was before she got there. Otherwise, everything she's done has been lost. But it just pisses me off. I'm like, what?
The first city that she liberated, it went back into slavery as soon as she left.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what pisses me off, because I'm like, I understand it. I understand her thought process, but this is not where we came. This is not. We didn't come here for this. You know what I mean? We came here for an army. We came here with our dragons to go to Westeros and fight the damn battle. That's why this is what we came for.
Isn't where she's located called Essos?
I don't know the area. I forget. Maybe called Essos. Let me look at Wiki.
Yeah.
You're gonna look at the Game of Thrones map.
Yeah. Keep talking. So I gotta get my my charger. I'll be right back. Keep talking.
I feel like it's also necessary because look at everyone else who hasn't gotten a chance to rule before, but they're still charging in and trying to make it happen. We saw what happened with Rob, and we're seeing what happened with Stannis, and we're seeing what happened with Renly, and it's just nobody knows how to rule. So for her to be the true ruler, right, she had to have that experience. Nobody else had that. So I think that's also why that was a crucial point in her being there and seeing if she can actually run this small city before a whole kingdom.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't dislike it, you know what I mean? But I think I did have that sentiment that Saban has, where why? I mean, you got your army, stay the course, expedite the mission. You know what I mean? You got your army, you got ships, you got all you really need. But I guess, while in Marine, she lost control of the dragons, so she didn't really have the dragons. So, but I didn't have a problem with it. I like that part of the story, because I've been saying it, since season 1. You know what I mean? I've been saying she is rising. She's gonna take control of the Iron Throne. And I think this is where we get to see a little bit more of that, of her just being in control as a queen. And we get to see more of her principles as queen. You know what I mean? You know, like she wants people to be free. You know what I mean? And now that I have seen all the series now, now that I know what's to come, it makes a good contrast. Like, you did all this, you know what I'm saying? Use this woman who wanted people to be free, and you wanted this kind of, peaceful kingdom, and and non-dictatorship as a queen. But then we know what's to come later. So I think we get to see that juxtaposition. So I think it is necessary that we see her ruling this kingdom in Meereen as she is, and it gives us more insight to her journey, and then it builds that contrast for what's to come when she does do what I've always known she was gonna do. She's taking over. But yeah, I didn't hate it, but I also understand. Like, I did have a moment at first, Savant, where I was like, why are we still here? Like, why is she in the city so long? You got what you need. But then, like I said, she lost control of her dragons, though. She had to put them in a dungeon, so, and one of them is just doing this. He's rogue. Dragon is going rogue. So she didn't have everything quite yet. So
yeah.
But I'm also excited because now Tyrion has joined as one of her advisors.
Yeah.
Where he was great at over in King's Landing. So we can see Tyrion at his best, where he's best at.
Yep.
Bro, he's so like this man Tyrion, bro. He should have been dead. Like, the dude said, I'm gonna
He got 9 lives, bro.
He's like, the slaver's like, we're gonna kill you and get rid of you. He's like, no, blah blah blah. And then, like, doesn't get bought. He's like, oh, you should buy me. He's just a talker. It's just smooth talker, survives everything, right? It's just so crazy, man.
Yeah, he has the gift of gab, man. Like, but like I said, he knows his strengths. He knows, like, he's not big. Everybody knows this. He's not a warrior, but he's a wordsmith, and he's diplomatic. He's a master negotiator. He can get what he wants from people. He knows how to influence people.
And that's why you read books, kids.
Yeah. Yes. So that's Dany. I mean, you might have any other characters over there that you want to touch on for that piece, because I mean, honestly, like, again, we see her kind of RRP Sir Barristan, but we see her. Actually, no, I do want to touch on this.
Yeah, I'm saying, I was like, we got to talk about this whole Sons of the Harpy and like how everything went down, bro.
What do you want to talk about there?
I'm just saying, like, that, like, the fact that Lord Barristan, like, he was a G. Like, that whole fight we got to talk about is what I'm saying. Like, I think that's where you're about to go, right?
No, I wasn't going to go there. I was going to talk about the love of my life, Lady Missandei, but keep going.
Well, yeah,
Missandei.
We could talk about her too. That happens in this season. I feel you. The heartbreak.
But no, wait. So you really liked that battle between the Sons of the Harpy? There's 2 fights. That was that battle where the Grey Worm was a badass, and this was like destroying people. Sir Barristan was fighting people, and there's also the battle after the fight where Sir Jorah gets back in the good graces of Dany.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about the little first one where the Sons of the Harpy tried to ambush Lord Barristan and Grey Worm.
They did.
I mean, they did. I know, and Grey Worm was a beast in that joint. But it's like, but also seeing Barristan fight, he held his own, bro. Like, he was a G in that thing. Like, he held his own. I was hurt. I was like, oh man, like, he's gonna die. I knew it. I was like, I thought they were gonna kill both of them. And I was scared, bro. I was like, oh my gosh, don't let both of them get killed. But Grey Worm, he was holding it down, bro. He was holding it
Yeah,
down. Just two of them.
that's what I wrote in my notes. That I was like, Green Room was a badass. Like he was fighting all those people. Like
Oh yeah.
it was crazy. But I thought again, this is still to my Lady Sunday. Um, he spit the smoothest game after being injured. He said he was like, I was afraid, and he was like, she was like, oh, because you're about to die. He was like, no. It was like, I fear to never see Miss Sunday or is it of Nath or whatever she's from.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, bro, that's a
Something
bar,
like
my boy. Like, no, she had to kiss that man. That was a bar. I was like, this man, Grey Worm, can barely speak. He's got stabbed. He's worried about his woman. He's like, I never get to see my woman again. Like, crazy.
yeah, he's like, I ain't afraid of death. I can handle death. You know, I can't handle not being with you.
Right. And
Was-
crazy. Like, that was crazy.
That
I
was
don't know. The Sons of the Heartbeat, really, I mean, I like the battles were cool, but I don't know. It just didn't like the second time through. Nothing really like. There's a part of this show that we'll talk. I always talk about the North because that for me was the best part of this entire season. Everything going on King's Landing, everything going on with, and I guess it's Essos. That does sound right, Essos. That was kind of boring to me, honestly. Like again, I mentioned that like the whole her sitting in Marine. I'm like, get the hell up out of there. Like, go. Everything is going down in Westeros. Get your ass up out of Essos. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. But
That's my thought.
no, I feel you on that. Like it's a lot going on in the North, so we could talk about it. Like it's a lot happening. Are we not going? We're not going episode. I mean, yeah, episode by episode. So we
No,
just kind of
we're just talking.
talking about the season. Well, yeah. I mean,
No, yeah. So it is Essos. You were right, E-Man. It is Essos.
E-Man,
E-S-S-O-S.
E-Man knows this is Game of Thrones map.
I did want to touch on something as
Geography.
well that I wrote down in my notes. So we had talked about season one, um, the whole situation with Robert Baratheon and his death, and we're like, man, it gets hinted on in later seasons, right? I couldn't remember what season it was, but it was this season. If
It
you
was
remember, Lancel and
Cersei.
Cersei, yeah, talking. He was like he felt bad because of what he did. He was like, so like it's still not explained how he died. Like the explanation of his death, of Robert Baratheon's death, so like the board killed him. But he was like, yeah, I gave him the wine, and I did these certain things. So that's what I was remembering was that conversation, that
Yeah,
death, and then additionally we get the answer of who killed Joffrey, and it was both Lady Tyrell and um,
Littlefinger.
yeah, Lord Peter Baelish. Like those, they conspired together to kill Joffrey. So it's both. Because I was like, is it either one? Like who did it really? And they're like, we both. Like they both come out and say we both killed Joffrey.
yeah,
So it's like,
Hmm.
it was good to see. Like you just say, okay, this person killed this person, this person. You just kind of get clarification on certain like little things in the show.
yeah,
You need to see.
So even going back to Robert Baratheon, even Jamie, he was having a conversation with someone, and he said the queen killed her husband. I forgot who he was talking to, what they were talking about, but he did mention it to someone that Cersei did kill one of her husbands. Being Robert Baratheon.
There was a scene with her with like powder giving it to someone too in the first season, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember that. Huh. But yeah, I caught that when I was watching it. I think when I was rewatching it because I had to rewatch it to try to refresh my memory because I watched it like I don't know a month ago this season. So yeah, rewatching it, I caught it and I was like, oh, so he had something to do with it. Now, but I wasn't sure who he was either. Like, is he the cousin that she was sleeping with?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because she didn't notice him and he looked different because he cut his hair and all that. So yeah. So yeah, when he said that, I was like, oh, that's the cousin she was sleeping with, and oh, he was the one that gave the wine and poisoned him. Okay.
Yep. That's
And
if you're,
she trying to
if,
feed the fear. Oh, I have no idea what you're talking about. You know what he's talking about.
yeah,
You know exactly what he's talking
if
about.
you remember in our previous season we did just about 4 or 5 months ago, I think season 1, I brought that to his attention. Like I was like, oh, that's the cousin.
Yeah.
Because he does pop back up obviously, and he's atoning for his sins and tells the High Sparrow about sleeping with Cersei. Which again, it's crazy that incest isn't the sin. The sin is
No.
her sleeping with another man outside of her marriage. It's just crazy.
Yep.
Well, I don't think incest would be a sin for them, considering the Targaryens were all doing incest. I don't think they would see that as a sin for them.
Yeah. Which I mean, interesting enough, like even if like all the sins that they're like atoning for, I find it funny because Lady Terrell talks about it. She's like, all these people out here, bless you,
Bless you.
all these people out here are sinning, but yeah, you're attacking specific people for a reason, right? And I don't
Mhm.
disagree. Like they're going after higher ups because if you can get to the queen, like you can do whatever. Like, if you have the ability to get to the queen and the king can't do anything, like who else can you go after? So I
Yeah.
agree with what she said. They were attacking people specifically. Cersei fueled that, um, but yeah. So, anyways, any additional thoughts about Danny? I'm excited that she now teamed up with Tyrion, and then obviously they're going to eventually get to Westeros. So, any other thoughts about Danny, the City of Marine, everything going on there?
I mean, you hinted at it, but like, I did not expect uh uh Mormont to come back. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect that. I was like, oh, okay, but he's back. Like, um, so like it was good to see it though. And I was like, you gonna sell out my man? you know, you gonna sell out my man Tyrion? Like, you gonna just throw him over to her? Like she was gonna kill him or something. But I was glad to see him come back, and and that whole fight scene too. Um, that was dope. Just them her agreeing to allow the city to have those pit fights again, and then seeing him come and kick ass in that joint because he was kicking some ass, but with his old ass. but
I think the coolest thing about that was honestly Drogon coming down
oh
and just
yeah,
breathing fire on everybody. Like I remember the first time I watched it, I'm like, are they about to like I was like, there has to be some way that she lives because there's no way they're gonna kill off Danny.
oh
Like
yeah,
no, obviously we know that. But anyway, at that point I was like, there's no way they kill off Danny, and so like I was like, what happens? And then Dragon comes down, and I'm like, this is and then blowing fire. And I'm like, oh, let's go. So like watching it back too, because I forgot. I was like, man, how are they gonna get out of this? And then Dragon
yeah,
comes out. There we go. And he's
yeah,
blowing fire, killing people. It was really cool.
yep. And now she has her dragons, all three of them, riding or die for her.
Well, I mean, we see the last episode. We see her being surrounded by the Dothraki, right? So
Yeah,
does she become a slave again? like, she doesn't. Obviously, we've seen the seasons, but that's kind of like where it hints at. It's like, what happens
yeah,
to
yeah,
to Danny? Is she now back? Because every single person, like, they just go like it's just a full circle. Literally, if they don't die, they just go back to where they started, right? Like John,
yeah.
Sansa, Arya.
Oh wait. So was that this season where okay, yeah,
No,
she
no,
went
no.
to
I'm talking about in general. I'm just talking about in general. But Sansa does get
okay,
back to Winterfell this season. But again, we're talking about this season. But we've all seen it, we can now just openly talk
yeah,
about
yeah,
this
hint
season.
at stuff, but no, what I'm saying is it this season where because I don't want to give nothing up, and all my seasons might mesh, but no, I mean for the audience, for the spectating audience. But anyway,
Gotcha. Okay.
is this where she gets with Rocky and they're trying to make her a slave, like you're a woman, we're gonna control you, and then she's like, oh y'all all about to die, and she
That's next
well,
season.
oh okay, so
Yeah.
you know
This season, the last episode, season 10 or episode 10, is she just being surrounded by a Dothraki. You don't see
okay,
like what happens
yeah,
after that. She's
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah,
she's
yeah,
surrounded
okay,
by
yeah,
horses, everything like
yeah,
that. So that's how the season ends.
gotcha,
Because But yeah, but which is weird though because there's a dragon right there. Like all these horses, but there's a dragon literally like 5 seconds away. Like,
Yeah.
anyways,
But was he injured? He was injured though, right?
he was injured, right? But
Yeah.
still a dragon.
Yeah.
Like
You're right. You're right.
so.
And
But anyways,
have no way to fight the dragon.
none.
You're right. You're
No,
right.
absolutely none.
That's real. Yeah.
So, but yeah, so Danny's kind of interesting this season. I'm excited to see season 6 because again, that's what like. Anyways, season 6 is my favorite, especially with it's the best battle out of all the battle, which is Battle of the Bastards. But so then we have Arya, which she goes over to Bravos, and honestly, again, I don't know, maybe I just wasn't impressed, but like I thought there'd be more to like the whole secret society. You know what I mean? Like the no ones. Like because I really enjoyed Jack and Hagar. At least that was his name. It's not he's a person of no one, but like I don't know. There was like it's just I did like when she became a spy. Right? She becomes a spy. She's not supposed to use a face, but she uses the face and goes and murders. Is that Ellen Payne? That she murders, and so that was fun. But I feel like they were just like I don't know. They're trying to treat her like teach her how to be no one. I don't know. It was kind of interesting that whole like situation going on in Bravos. But I
It
guess
went on too long. It went on way too long. Like I was
it's still going on.
like,
It's still going on. She
Yeah.
just went blind at the end of the season. So
yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It went on way too long. I was like, okay, what's the point of this? Like, I was so frustrated. I was like, this is not what I expected of her journey. But then, and I understood, later, of course. But I was just like, as we're going through it, I was like, okay, what's the point here? What is like, is she gonna become one of the nobody, one of the face? What the heck? I was frustrated with it. But I did like that part where she took one of the faces and she went and killed old boy, like she killed his ass like smooth. But that was crazy because you put on these faces and your voice changed too.
yeah,
Or am
it's
I
like
just yeah?
you're a
It's like
faceless person.
yeah.
Eman, Tierra, anything on Arya over in Bravos season 5?
Yeah, I mean, I think I had the same thoughts the first time. I was like, dang, I'm mad bored right now with all of this. But I think the second time watching it, it was kind of like interesting because I was like, okay, like you said, Brandon, knowing what you know now, like, it's like, okay, now I understand the point of it. But I do wish, like, because like becoming a super spy is supposed to be like cool, it's supposed to be like sexy, like you're supposed to be like doing all kinds of weird stuff. But no, she's, you know, washing
Getting beat.
corpses and yeah, doing all this stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
And
agree.
getting her ass whooped all the time. I'm like,
Yeah, her little handler, I didn't like her.
oh no. Yeah, man. I wasn't yeah, it just wasn't as exciting. But like I said, later on, I understand it. You know what I mean? I'll talk about, when we get to season 6, I think that happens in season 6, where I was disappointed in the like her coming of age moment in that from that whole journey. I was like, that's it? Like y'all not gonna show that? We see her get her ass all the time. But it's left up to our imagination when it comes to, her really getting to that place where she's like, oh, I am a nobody and I can whip your ass now. But
Yeah.
yeah, I wasn't excited about that her journey through that because I mean, like all these previous seasons, she's been on this journey of finding herself. You know, what I mean, trying to get back home and get home to her family, and she's gone through all this stuff, and then it's just like you get here to Bravos. I was just expecting more. I think that's what it was. Like you said, I was expecting more from the city and just from the secret society, like y'all washing feet and putting holy water on people's heads and
Having them drink from the death fountain.
yeah, having them drink from the death fountain and like cutting off their faces. Like, okay, that's it. That's it. I don't know. I don't know if we could have done without it, but I could have done without it.
Eman, anything?
Nah, nothing to add. I agree with what y'all said.
Yeah, again, this is what frustrates me about Arya. Is like she's a cool character, but similar to I just thought about this too. We got zero episodes about Bran.
Yeah.
This is just a non-factor in this show. Like and this is like what Arya plays into too. Is like she has a purpose, and obviously we talked about like she becomes a badass, right? And like this is all part of like her story, and she's like this. She like this helps her hone in her skills to like be spy, be cunning, things like that. But it's just like what are we doing? Like you said, washing corpses. Like this is what the super spy thing is about, right? Like they beat her up. Just to pretend. Again, it kind of makes sense too, but like it's just like I loved when she killed Ellen Payne, like that entire thing. Like she becomes this girl Lana that's selling oysters and she's like listening in on conversations and
Mhm.
it's just like the fact that she got punished for that was kind of crazy. Like he lost her eyesight because
Yeah.
she still is Arya Stark and she hasn't like given up her personality. Um, I was like, that's stupid, but it's not stupid. But it's still
Yeah.
stupid. Um, so it just already just gets lost. But I just thought about that. I'm literally just blown that we had 4 seasons of Bran. In season 5, they didn't show him at all, like at all. That's crazy.
Nope.
There was a
Nope.
one episode that I saw Bran. He gets mentioned, but y'all, do you guys remember episode of Bran? I don't remember episode of Bran.
No.
No,
In season
not
5.
at all.
Season 5, he doesn't exist.
Yeah.
That's crazy,
Yeah,
especially
I hadn't even noticed this. Like he's a non, like you said, a non-factor. I was like, oh wow, yeah.
especially with the way that the show ends. How do you have a guy again? We already seen it, so I don't give a damn. How do you have a guy that becomes king that doesn't get showcased in a season? That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is, that
Uh,
is, that is,
Anyways,
that is.
Brand is it's pissing me off. Brand is a non-factor.
And I mean,
But yeah,
I think altogether, like when he becomes, the 3-Eye Raven, it's just like there's just nothing to his character other than that, and it's just like, I mean, yeah, he can see in the past and in the future and all that, but it's just like his character wasn't exciting. And then so like for him to become king and like be appointed like he had done some shit, like he ain't done nothing, But
yeah, I
bro.
feel like with him becoming the three-eyed raven made no sense because it's like at a time where we didn't even need it anymore. Like we could have done that 2 seasons ago when we actually needed it when everybody was at war, but now you're just there to be there.
could have done it before you getting pushed off the roof when you was a kid. But
Well, he had to. He had to happen.
no, I'm
Based
joking.
off
I'm joking. I'm joking.
based off the storyline. It had to happen because if not, then there wouldn't have been this war,
No,
right?
yeah, no.
So
I'm joking. I was being funny.
gotcha. All right. So let's move on to Sansa. Let's move on to Sansa and Ramsey. Sansa has the worst. Like you want to talk about toxic relationships? Like Sansa has had the worst relationships of any person I've ever seen. To go from Joffrey to an extent Baelish to Ramsey is a trifecta of toxicity that will never ever be surpassed. Like is the worst. Like I
Yeah.
remember the first time I watched this show, I damn near I don't want to say I cried, but I was like, bro, not
You can say
Ramsey.
you cried, bro. It's all good.
I can't say I cried. I didn't though. But like I was just so sad for her because I'm like, of all people, she has to marry Ramsey. Like this is her trajectory. You know what I mean? Like after everything she's been through, you think she's finally gonna get away from everything, and then like she's back down into the worst
Mm.
situation possible.
No, but
Um,
it's all Baelish's fault though. Like I'm finding out like he's the real villain. Like I don't know why I just didn't pay as much attention to him before, but like I disliked him the first time I watched it, but like this time I'm like, dang, like you're the problem. You are the problem. And
Oh, he's
somebody should have
conniving
killed
as
you.
hell.
Yeah, somebody should have killed you like a long time ago. And she just trusts him so much. I think that's the saddest part of it, that she just trusts him so much. It just and he just like manipulates that trust so much.
But did he though? So yes, she has to deal with a shitty situation. But honestly, I think he he wasn't wrong. Like he told her, you have to deal with this because you will get freed, right? Because Stannis was supposed to save her. It didn't end up happening with Stannis, but we see that it does end up happening somewhere else. But like there's certain things where she could have escaped, like the whole Reek situation where he snitches on her about the damn candle. With you know what I mean, like that could help her escape. Like there's so many things. Like I would say like Baelish is definitely cunning and like plays people against each other, but he I think he played that right. It just didn't work out right, if that makes sense. Like he
Mm.
gave her to Roose Bolton, but he expected Roose Bolton to lose his Warden of the North title because he was going to be Warden of the North, right? Like he talks. If you remember, he talked to Cersei, snitches out Roose Bolton that he married Sansa to his son, and she's like, I'm going to nominate you as Warden of the North." And so
Mm.
Roose is no longer Warden of the North because Cersei is going to say you're not, right? So then he becomes Warden of the North. Stannis is supposed to have this big army that should defeat the Boltons. So now Stannis comes in, defeats the Boltons. He's Warden of the North. He now can come marry Sansa, and he has the North.
Mm. I don't know. It still was a bad deal.
But for her, like if Stannis' army did take over and win, like she'd be fine. But they lost, and there's no hope that she's gonna be saved now.
Yeah. I felt bad for her. You know, I hated her in season 1. Everybody knows this. If you've been watching our podcast, I hated Sansa. I thought she was, uh, I thought she was a weak, bitch, to be honest. Um, and but no, as she has gone through all the crap with, you know, all this crap with all these guys, that I'm just like, I feel bad for her because then like she does she's naive, like she is trusting, you know what I mean? And it's like it's almost you're empathetic because like she kind of believes in the good in people, but it's also like you dumb child. Like you got to have some sense of common sense. But I started to feel bad because she does have to go with Joffrey and deal with his foolishness and his evil, and then you got Ramsay who's just psychotic, and then Peter Baelish who's just a freaking manipulator, and he a pimp. He's their pimp. That's like he's the pimp of that day. I mean, he had a brothel, like he a pimp. He's a pimp, and he knows how to pimp women out to Johns. You know what I mean? And he does it on a high level.
Technically men too, because he does have men that are in the bathroom too.
There you go too. There you go too. But like I started to have some empathy for her. I started to feel bad for Sansa. I'm like, man, she getting it like the worst with Arthur. She's just being manipulated. She's being tortured. She's being raped. I mean, I guess if technically
But,
she was married, so but
bro, but no, that was diabolical. That first night, and he said, "No, Reek, you stand there and
you
watch."
stay and watch.
Bro, that was so diabolical.
Oh my
Like
God.
he goes, "You've known Sansa since she was a girl. Now watch her become a woman." I was
Bro,
like,
bro,
this
bro.
man is diabolical. Like
He is.
I skipped that whole part.
that
You
was
said you skipped that whole part?
I skipped that
crazy
whole part.
work. That
Oh
was
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it was
Like
crazy.
it's just everything he does to Reek, and like he's just a master. Like Ramsey, like rewatching this, I'm like I really want to rewatch to see like who pisses me off because obviously Cersei pissed me off a lot the first time I watched it. Joffrey did, and then Ramsey. I mean Ramsey and Joffrey were the two. Cersei was third, and like just seeing how diabolical Ramsey is, bro. He just pisses me off. Like it's so he knows what he's like. He's a smart dude. Like he's a very smart dude. Um, but it's smart in the worst way possible. Like
Yep.
that is
He's
crazy.
psychotic. He's psychotic, bro. But no, just character we hate. But bro, I don't know the actor's name, but he is playing the hell out of this role. Like he will forever be like, and if I see him in anything else, I'm like, okay, bro, you
It's
crazy.
outside.
Yeah, you crazy, bro. Like if they play like I can't even see him being cast as a regular kind of average nice guy role in the future with that kind of a character. He played that so well. I wonder how he had to process, after this series ended, how he had to get rid of that character and all that he had to do, because he seemed like he like went to the depths of that character, and like that character has some evil shit.
Hmm.
But yo, I think I don't want to jump the gun, but the way Sansa gets him back though,
Oh yeah,
the,
with his
the way
girlfriend.
Sansa gets him back, them dogs, bro, them hounds.
But anyways, so yeah, so he is a great actor for that
Oh yeah,
role. I'm sure
like
people.
he played the hell out of that role, bro. It's just like I'm not gonna look at him the same in any other role, like. And that's how you know when an actor is really good, and that's why I say I wonder if he had to go through a process of kind of, for the lack of a better word, getting rid of those demons. You know what I mean? Because like the best actors, they dive deep, into these characters, and sometimes like it's hard to shake that persona. You know what I mean? Because especially you're in a series like this that's lasting so long, and you're playing that character so long, you go into the depths of that character, and you're living in their mind, and you got to deal with that. And so sometimes actors will have to take uh, some time off, and they have to just kind of expunge that character and get it out of them, get it off of them. It's crazy.
That
Yeah,
happened to Jon Snow. He had to go to the mental hospital for it.
You said what?
That happened to Jon Snow. He had to go to the mental hospital for it.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Mhm. He had like a big breakdown after the show ended.
Oh, okay. Was that just because it's probably the biggest role he had, and he was like, "What am I gonna do now?" Or because I mean, he
Yeah.
didn't have to go to the depths of that evil that Ewan, or whatever his name was. Uh, he didn't have to go to those depths. But Jon Snow, we gonna talk about him?
actually yes. But what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something that I forgot now. So
Well,
fairy dust.
your points on about like you say he was smart character. He went up to his dad, Roose Bolton was like, "Give me 20 good men, and I'll defeat
Dennis.
Stannis." And Stannis was supposed to be like this great military mind, and he got his his own army defeated like that. It was just like that's
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And actually, I appreciate you saying that because we were about to move on, but I had some thoughts that I forgot about. But yes, no, I 100 like he is a great like battle leader. Like he is fantastic. Like as much as you hate the character, you hate him because he wins. Like obviously everything he does too, but like he's won multiple battles now. Like he beat Stannis. He killed Stannis. He didn't kill him, but killed his army, right?
Yeah.
But I did want to I appreciate you saying that because I did want to touch on Stannis. Stannis was lost, by the
Stupid.
way. Stupid, right? And I did not want to rewatch that scene of him burning alive his daughter,
Oh my
but
God.
that was one of the toughest scenes to me in this show. Is
Bro,
like as a man being like, I need to win this war so bad that you kill your daughter,
Kill your
you burn her
daughter.
alive,
sacrifice your daughter.
not
That's
just sacrifice. Like it wasn't like he stabbed her and like he's like, okay, you're dead. They burned her
no.
alive.
Burned her and listened to
Yeah,
her
no,
scream.
bro. I was so blown. I thought he was going to be the one who would like fight against that, not do it. And then like I thought that he was going to at least have some like be the one to change his mind and try and go save her. But the mother did. I was like, What? Like, I was so mad. I was so mad. I was like, bro, you burning your daughter alive. Like, all this time, you've been on the mama about, like, no, she's my daughter. I'm going to see her. You know, she has this right to this. And, like, I love her, blah, blah, blah. And then this witch, AKA bitch, tells you to kill her so you become king. But I knew that was coming because when she said, when the red lady was said to his wife, we're going to need you, you know, when the time comes. Like, we're gonna bring the girl with us, and I'm gonna need you. I thought that was a big hint that, like, okay, because Stannis is not gonna go for it. We're gonna have to sacrifice your daughter because the Lord of Light is requiring it, and I'm gonna need you to convince Stannis to be okay with it. But he was quite fine with it. And then Mama was trying to say to the baby girl, she was breaking down, trying to go into the fire. I was like, but he's sitting there chilling. I mean, I guess we saw his emotion, you know, like not like he really wasn't hurt at all, but it was like, nah, bro. The fact that you made that decision.
I think the biggest kicker is that the Red Woman does all of this just to leave. I'm just like, you can't even see it through. Like, come on now, you just burned a child, and then her mother kills herself. Now you left this man with absolutely nothing, and his army left because they're like, okay, we're burning daughters now. We're definitely not gonna stand for this. And then you just like sneak out in the dead of night while everybody's sleeping. Like, what is this for?
You know what the irony is though, is as much as like everything she did was like crazy, she wasn't wrong. The Red Woman
Mm.
wasn't wrong.
Elaborate.
Yeah.
So when she burns the slugs or whatever, the leeches, she names them, right. She's like, this is Joffrey, this is, I forgot what other king it was, but all three of those people that she burned were um they died, right? Like all of them died. And then she tells him, she's like, I saw the flag of a flayed man on the ground. Like I saw him losing the fight. She did see them losing the fight. Like she's not wrong. And she killed the Shireen or whatever her name was, it so that they won the battle versus what's his name? Ramsay. And it does happen. It just didn't happen with Stannis. It happens with Jon Snow. So she's not wrong.
Yeah.
Everything she predicted to come right, yes, but everything she's predicted to come right, it does happen.
Because she's a witch. She would know.
True, but I'm saying like exactly, but exactly. So was she wrong? You know what I'm saying? Like.
Are you talking morally wrong, or are you talking about just wrong?
Yeah,
was she wrong for doing what she was doing? If everything that she said would come true came true, but you just need to do this to have it come true. No. Does that make sense? Like there's a certain things you have to do in order for this to come true. She said, "Hey, this is what I need you to do if you want this to come true."
Kill your daughter, man.
I'm not saying like I'm not saying that you should do that. Again, you hear me? Like
I got you. No, I know what you're saying.
I'm saying like she's like, you need to get King's blood. You need to sacrifice this, and this will happen. And she's not lying because it did happen.
Yeah. Except that part about him, you know, becoming king of the Iron Throne.
Well, no, she saw a vision. She saw a vision. It just wasn't him. It was Jon Snow.
Right. That's why she started questioning herself, and that's why she left when he got killed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was wrong.
And she realized it wasn't Stannis. It was Jon Snow this entire time.
Yeah. Crazy. You're giving it away for the people, Savon. You're giving it away for the people, bro.
If anybody's watching, first of all, we're an hour and 20 minutes into this, so we actually need to start wrapping up. But if anybody's watching this season 5 review, especially this far into the show, like they've seen it more than likely. So
they've seen the whole series.
Exactly. Plus, it's like, you know, the show's been out for how many years?
For years. I mean? Like, no, I know. I'm messing with you.
I can get if this was like a brand new show. You're like, oh my god, you're ruining it. But this show's been out since 2011.
Jesus. and I'm just now getting on it last year. Right.
But cool, man. That does bring us to. Actually, last thing I'll talk about is I love that brand of Tarth. Is like, you know what, I gotta do this for Renly. Like, like I love that she followed through. Like her honor, her morals. She's like, I followed this thing through, and like she just stayed steady and true, and she got to kill Stannis. She got the confession from Stannis, and she got to kill Stannis, as well. So that was pretty cool. But
Yep.
yeah, so that moves us to the north and the boy Jon Snow. Now I gotta start off by saying, R.I.P. Young Snow. Did you? So Brandon, the first time you watched this
Bro,
was
I was hurt. I was hurt. I was hurt. Bro, I was so hurt. I was like, what?
Oh man.
What? I was like, they killing off my boy. I was like, because I've been fighting for him. I'm like, because you are a hater. You too, Kiera, because both of y'all was talking about, maybe you, E-Man, both of y'all was talking about, Jon Snow, he's nothing. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't have any of this. He doesn't that. And this man, he becomes, the Night Watch commander. He's done all this shit. He's unifying the wildlings in the men of the wall, like to go take over and win the battle against the dead people. But then I was like, whoa, wait, all this time we've been building him up and I've been riding for me. I'll kill my boy off. And the saddest thing, but I do like when it comes to like, just like the suspense and of it all, them having that boy kill him, it made so much sense. It made so much sense, but I was like, oh, then you go. It reminds me kind of like Julius Caesar when he says "Et tu, Brute." You know what I mean? Like this little boy, like I've been little wildling. I should have left you as eating by the thins. You know what I mean? But bro, I was so hurt. I could not believe it. I could not believe they killed off my boy.
Yeah, I forgot. I forgot that happened. I literally.
He did. So it was visceral for you again when you watched it.
I was like, dang, they really killed this man off. Like
they did him dirty.
Yeah, because I totally forgot that happened. Because I remember when I watched it season. That's why like when I watched season 5, I had to watch season 6 because I'm like, there's so many loose ends. Like there were so many loose ends, like the Dothraki circling, Daenerys we talked about, Jon Snow being killed. Like there's so many loose ends that I'm like, bro, what is going on? Like we need to keep on going and watch the show. That's why when you told me you finished the show, I was like, I understand because there's so much stuff that goes down. But I was just like, bro, they really killed this man off. That's really crazy. Like
I was so shocked.
I wonder if that was always the plan, or if like that they were actually going to kill off Jon Snow. I don't know, but I want to do some research and look that up. Of like, I wonder like what's the like why they kill him off. You know what I mean? Like, what was the purpose of that? I guess it does. It was a great story plot, and it kind of left everything on a cliffhanger. But I wonder.
Yeah.
But no, I agree. Like, I thought this was like this is like again, Jon Snow season 1, 2, 3, nothing, boring, absolutely trash. Like, trash.
See,
season 4, season 4, take it off. Season 5, that boy became one of them ones, right? Like he just like everything he did, he just led. Like again, he has the same honor as Eddard Stark. So everything he's gonna do is he's like, what's for the best of the people.
Yeah.
Honor. Like he works with Mance Rayder. Mance Rayder respects Mance Rayder. Is it Mance Rayder?
It's Mance
I know it's
Rayder.
Mance. I don't know his last name. But
it's Rayder. Yeah.
Okay. So he working with them, communicating with Tormund, like him and Tormund, like Kurlish, like he just does everything just with honor. He's like, I'm trying to do what's work for everybody because they coming, right? That's literally they are on their way. Like y'all are focused on this whole beef between the North and the Wildlings. And it's like, nah, it's bigger. This is bigger than all.
Bigger than that.
So I like this season. I gain a lot of respect. And then Hardhome, we'll end with Hardhome. But what was y'all's thoughts? I guess on the death of the death of Jon Snow. What were y'all's thoughts? Anything, or not just the death, but just like this him this season? Any thoughts on Jon Snow?
Yeah, same thing. I was excited because he's finally doing something. And like you say, all the decisions he was making were the right ones. It was like, I'm gonna bring the free folk down south so they won't become the army of the dead.
Yep.
And it logically it makes sense. And he said, hey, I just want y'all. I don't want y'all to bend the knee to anyone. I just want y'all to fight with us.
Yep.
And it was like, logically it makes sense. Like, that's a great decision. And then so I'm excited because like we saw him fight. We saw him fight. I guess one of the leaders of the White Walkers. So I was excited to see him fight again. And then they're just like, yeah, we're just gonna kill you. I'm like, well, dang. And now it's like, well, I know what's going. We know what happens later on, but my first time watching it, I was like, who's gonna take that role now? Are they gonna go back to war with the
Wildlings.
Wildlings? Like, what's gonna happen? And they left it on a perfect cliffhanger.
Bro, you talk about a cliff, man, bro. I was stunned. I was just like, what's gonna happen? Like, what comes now? Like Jon Snow? But then I was like, oh, okay. And I watched him fix.
Exactly. So imagine, like, put yourself back in the shoes of like people that watch this during this time frame. Like, imagine seeing that and having to wait.
Yeah, wait a whole freaking year. Bro. Bro, I would have been. Oh my gosh!
Imagine the entire time you're like, bro, Jon's dead. Like they really.
Jon Snow is dead.
Yeah.
Just sadness until next season.
Like,
I mean, because you can't like. I mean, y'all were hating on Jon Snow, but like the man is honorable, bro. Like you said, he's like his daddy. Well, his uncle, but
right.
But bro, like he's an honorable guy. He wants to do what's best for everyone. You know what I mean? He's humble. Like he didn't want to become. Well, I don't know. I think a little bit he did want to become Lord Commander, but we see him telling Sam, "No, don't nominate me, bro." And so he has a sense of humility too. You know what I mean? Like he's just doing it because it's the right thing to do. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He doesn't necessarily want the fame and the glory. He just want to do the right thing. And so it's like you can't hate on him.
And he gave all of his haters a chance. Like he gave the former Lord Commander a chance. And even though Lord Commander ended up stabbing him, but
him first, yeah.
He gave him a chance. Like he wasn't like, you're gonna be my steward. He's like, you go be the first ranger, right? And then the one fat dude that just couldn't get over himself, he's like, oh, I gotta kill you, dog. Like it is what it is. Like he wasn't any help anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so let's talk about the battle, the biggest battle that happens in the show. There's multiple battles, but in my opinion, Hardhome is like one of the best battles that I feel like doesn't get talked about enough with the show. Because like it's the first time we get to see the White Walkers like actually fight. Like we see like a couple White Walkers here and there. Like you see like obviously Sam kills a White Walker, or we see like the instances of the army or whatever. But it's the first time we get to see him fight. You know, and that was so cool. Like you see the four horsemen at the top of the ridge, looking down on their army, seeing everything going on and monitoring the battle as good generals do. And then you see Jon, who fights a White Walker, and by chance happens to have Valyrian steel, so it saves him. Otherwise, he would have died. Again, anyway. So Jon is lucky. Jon is lucky, but he's also a great person. So Hardhome is for me like I remember that like when I watched the show, Hardhome was like one of the battles that stands out to me. Battle of the Bastards too, for sure. But like Hardhome for me is like just a cool instance of like the Army of the Dead fighting the Wildlings. You get them, you get that one girl that I forget her name, but like she's like she gives her kid to Jon, and then she's like battling, which was so weird because like she's been fighting all these other creatures, and she sees the little kids, the Army of the Dead kids. And then She's like, okay, yeah, just take me. She gets eaten alive. It's like, what are
Yeah,
we?
she gets
You
taken.
know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I was like,
Yeah, I was like, we didn't even try to fight the little kids, which I wonder too. Like, this was a thought that I had: were those Krasner's kids? Because they're all boys and they're all like little boys. You know what I
Probably.
mean? Um,
that's a good
so
point, probably.
I thought
But
this
you know,
was
but
the only thing I was tripping off of during this battle was when after John killed the one that he fought, right?
mhm.
Did these motherfuckers keep coming back? Like they keep coming because I swear the one he killed popped back up in like another season or something. I'm like this dude is not dying, but
Well, there's four generals, but I don't know. Did he? I think he killed that one. Because I don't like you can't kill him. You have to kill him with either Dragon Glass or Valyrian Steel.
yeah.
Um, so
Now,
I think
if I'm remembering correctly, Hard Home is about it where they were like is where John was fighting this guy inside the
yeah,
little cabin or whatever, the little lodge, and he was getting his ass whooped, and he got
yeah,
kicked out of the lodge and ended up on the ground, and then there was some Valerian steel or dragon glass somewhere nearby, and then he kills him.
yeah. But
But
there's
then that
four.
dude shows up, like, yeah, four, but they all look alike.
Well, no, there's the main like White Walker. Like that's the they show his face. And, like he's
Yeah,
like the king of the White House. Let me see if I pull it up. Keep
yeah,
talking. I'll pull the photo up.
yeah, the king of the White Walkers. I know who you're talking about, but no, the one of the generals looks. He doesn't look no, like, he doesn't look like the king at all. But I swear to God, I was tripping, and maybe I was tripping. I was like, at first, I didn't know that there were four of them, but I was like, all these dudes look alike, other than the main one. And I'm
You're
like,
talking
or is this same guy that John killed? He just keeps, you know, duplicating himself or something. Like,
you're talking about the one with the long white hair, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I think I remember him popping up again.
yeah. I'm like, dude, John killed you. Wait, how you coming back?
Maybe I don't know. Is that when like him and Danny go north or whatever, and they own the dragons? Is that when he pops back up?
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't remember him popping up again. I remember seeing him in earlier seasons.
Yeah,
Nah, I'll have to. I'll.
yeah, because he was yeah. So looking back on it, he was the one that was on the horse. I'll share my screen real quick. But he was the one that was on the horse when the army was marching, and we saw, and that was like season. That was in season two. This
Yeah,
like this.
this guy. Oh, like on that top row, one, two, three.
Oh,
The third
okay.
square.
Yeah, this guy.
Yeah, here.
So yeah, but that's that. Remember, that's when the army's marching north in like season
Yeah, I
two.
know. I know.
But that's the same guy as when he fights right here. That's the only time I remember seeing him was this when they fought.
I swear to
So
God, I saw him pop back up again. But I'm gonna go rewatch it
I mean,
again.
maybe we'll. I mean, we still gotta get through season 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah, and
So
we'll talk
we'll
about it.
we'll we'll see if he pops back
Yeah.
up. But cool. So any other comments? I know we're kind of wrapping up here. Any other comments on Hard Home that battle?
Yo, but that like when they showed that wide shot as John and the wildlings and all the other his army were like floating off. And
Hmm.
then you just see all the freaking White Walkers standing on a bank on a shore. You're like, how are they gonna win this?
Jesus.
They're not gonna win. They're not gonna win this battle if you don't get everybody to join in. Like you gotta get everybody, like all the fucking kingdoms need to come
Yeah.
fight these motherfuckers because it's a lot of them.
And the question, like, it's so from here is literally just like every conversation John has is like, I don't give a damn about this battle. They're
Yeah,
coming.
they're
Like
coming. Like
literally, he's like,
everything you talk
I
about is
don't,
like,
Don't care.
who cares? They're coming. Like it's so funny. Like because
yeah,
they are like it's and then you have to explain to people that these stories that you heard as a kid all your life, they're not just stories. This is actually about to happen. Like and
yeah,
obviously
agree.
Cersei doesn't give a damn, but like it's just so crazy like how we have to explain like this is what we're seeing. Like I know you guys have been living in luxury and paradise, not paradise, You guys have to worry about any of this. Like, you just worry about your current life. Like, no, fam. Like, there is people north that are dead. They're making their ways out. White Walkers are real. So,
Freaking,
um,
freaking medieval zombies. Who knew?
Ned Stark's been preaching it since season 1. He kept saying winter is coming,
winter is coming.
and you see it, and then you're like, "Oh man, winter is coming."
Winter is here.
Winter
Um,
has come.
so last thing I want to touch on is the biggest thing from the season that kind of was crazy is to be like the deaths that I see in this season are crazy. Like medieval deaths has to be some of the worst deaths you can ever experience. Like people get flayed, like skinned alive. That's what Ramsey, the Bolton family does. They skin people alive.
Yeah.
You get burned to death, right? I mean, obviously people like falling from different things, stuff like that. Like, there's so many deaths in this movie or show, excuse me, that I was like, bro, I couldn't live in medieval times because like the way they kill people is crazy.
Yeah, they don't shoot them.
By comparison,
Like, I'd rather just get like a sword to the chest is the most
yes.
basic death. Yeah.
most civil.
Or arrow to the heart.
Yeah.
Crazy. What you about to say, E-Man?
No, I was just gonna say like being beheaded is probably like the best way by comparison.
And then even being beheaded is crazy. Like the thought of having to like lay your head down and be like, okay,
Yeah.
chop, and then sometimes they're not even a clean. It's not even like Theon. Theon didn't do a clean.
Yeah.
Like he like hacked and was like he kicked it off or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Yep. It is. It's gruesome and brutal, man. You know, it's like it's crazy.
so.
Medieval times.
But anyways, appreciate you guys. For anybody that's watching, appreciate you for tuning in to this episode. Leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts on season 5 of Game of Thrones. But we are wrapped up. Appreciate all you guys for tuning in. E-Man, BYT here. Thanks for joining again. And we'll see you guys for season 6.
Season 6. Over and out. See you.